Hello y bienvenido a Respuestas Inglesas, un podcast que te da unas llavitas claves mientras abres las puertas de tu aventura en inglés. Soy la presentadora Sarah con Language Answers y hoy en episodio 67 vamos a discutir algunas palabras raras en inglés. Sí, no tuve muchísimo tiempo esta semana pasada y sí, claro, no podía terminar las traducciones de las bibliotecas de recursos de idiomas. Lo siento muchísimo, pero pienso que voy a terminarlas en un mes porque tenemos mucho que hacer con la nueva casa y con familia las semanas que vienen. Entonces, hoy vamos a discutir 5 palabras interesantes y raras en inglés. Entonces, empecemos. Las siguientes palabras no se usan en inglés con frecuencia, pero sí se usan a veces. Usando estas 5 palabras correctamente, por favor, correctamente, le darán vida a tu inglés. No solo te harán sonar como un profesional al hablar inglés, sino que también sonar súper inteligente. Entonces, la primera palabra es blasé. Blasé. B-L-A-S-E con un acento. Blasé. Generalmente, en inglés, no usamos las tildes o los acentos ortográficos, a menos que una palabra es un extranjerismo. Entonces, blasé tiene un acento agudo porque se origina en francés y significa que alguien está indiferente o apático sobre algo o que no está impresionado. Se puede decir nonchalant o despreocupado y tranquilo, pero con un poquito de aburrimiento también. Algunos ejemplos de esa palabra. She found the whole thing rather blasé. Ella estaba apática sobre todo. She found the whole thing rather blasé. Ella estaba apática sobre todo. Even though their business was hugely successful, they acted blasé about it. A pesar de que su negocio fue un gran éxito, actuaron indiferentes al respecto. Even though their business was hugely successful, they acted blasé about it. A pesar de que su negocio fue un gran éxito, actuaron indiferentes al respecto. What an unimpressive performance. I found it so blasé. ¡Qué actuación tan poco impresionante! Lo encontré tan mediocre. What an unimpressive performance. I found it so blasé. ¡Qué actuación tan poco impresionante! Lo encontré tan mediocre. La segunda palabra es stoic. Stoic. S-T-O-I-C. Stoic. Y esta es una palabra interesante ya que se origina en la filosofía griega del estoicismo o stoicism en inglés, creada por Zenón de Sitio en el siglo IV después de Cristo. La premisa básica era que la pasión estaba mal y debía evitarse, promoviendo en su lugar las virtudes del autocontrol y la resistencia. Hoy en día, la palabra denota a alguien que no muestra mucha emoción, incluso en medio del caos. Y algunos ejemplos. I never know what he's thinking. He's always so stoic. Nunca sé lo que está pensando. Él siempre es tan estoico. I never know what he's thinking. He's always so stoic. Nunca sé lo que está pensando. Él siempre es tan estoico. My grandfather was a very stoic man, despite the hardships he suffered in life. Mi abuelo era un hombre muy estoico, a pesar de las dificultades que sufrió en la vida. My grandfather was a very stoic man, despite the hardships he suffered in life. Mi abuelo era un hombre muy estoico, a pesar de las dificultades que sufrió en la vida. She isn't stoic at all. Her emotions are all over the place. Ella no es estoica en absoluto. Sus emociones están bastante dispersas. She isn't stoic at all. Her emotions are all over the place. Ella no es estoica en absoluto. Sus emociones están bastante dispersas. La tercera palabra es morose. Morose. M-O-R-O-S-E. Morose. Esta palabra del latín se usa para describir a alguien que es melancólico, taciturno o malhumorado. Quizás lúgubre. Me encanta la palabra inglesa para lúgubre. Lugubrious. Me suena un poquito ridícula. ¿Conoces a Eeyore, el burro melancólico de Winnie the Pooh? Es un personaje muy taciturno y pesimista. Eeyore es morose. Otros ejemplos. After her father died, she became very morose. Después de la muerte de su padre, se puso muy malhumorada. After her father died, she became very morose. Después de la muerte de su padre, se puso muy malhumorada. Normally a cheerful fellow, he became very morose whenever they mentioned her name. Normalmente un tipo alegre, se ponía muy taciturno cada vez que mencionaban el nombre de ella. Normally a cheerful fellow, he became very morose whenever they mentioned her name. Normalmente un tipo alegre se ponía muy taciturno cada vez que mencionaba el nombre de ella. It can be miserable to talk to a morose person. Puede ser miserable hablar con una persona melancólica. It can be miserable to talk to a morose person. Puede ser miserable hablar con una persona melancólica. Vapid. Vapid. B corta, A-P-I-D. Vapid. Pero según Merriam-Webster se puede decir vapid o vapid. Entonces, las dos pronunciaciones están correctas. Pero esta palabra se origina del latín también para hablar de que el vino está soso o, como se dice en inglés, flat. Vapid se refiere a alguien o algo que carece de algo, lo que lo hace poco interesante, atractivo o aburrido. Podría ser una falta de sabor o una falta de espíritu. Para mí, la palabra denota que algo debería ser interesante, pero no es por esta deficiencia. No es una cosa buena estar vapid. Algunos ejemplos. I can't stand that woman. She is such a vapid busybody. No soporto a esa mujer. Es una entrometida tan insípida. I can't stand that woman. She is such a vapid busybody. No soporto a esa mujer. Es una entrometida tan insípida. The town was quiet and vapid, with hardly anything to do. La ciudad estaba tranquila e insípida, sin casi nada que hacer. The town was quiet and vapid, with hardly anything to do. La ciudad estaba tranquila e insípida, sin casi nada que hacer. Despite the restaurant's fancy exterior, the food was vapid. A pesar del elegante exterior del restaurante, la comida era sosa. Despite the restaurant's fancy exterior, the food was vapid. A pesar del elegante exterior del restaurante, la comida era sosa. Y finalmente, la quinta palabra, superfluous. Superfluous. S-U-P-E-R-F-L-U-O-U-S. Superfluous. No es superfluous, pero superfluous. Con el estrés en el super. Superfluous. Esta palabra es un adjetivo originario del latín y lo usas para describir algo que es innecesario y extra. Algunos ejemplos. All of these grandiose plans are a bit superfluous, don't you think? Todos estos planes ambiciosos son un poco superfluos, ¿no crees? All of these grandiose plans are a bit superfluous, don't you think? Todos estos planes ambiciosos son un poco superfluos, ¿no crees? He tried to remove anything superfluous from his room to create more space. Trató de quitar todo lo superfluo de su habitación para crear más espacio. He tried to remove anything superfluous from his room to create more space. Trató de quitar todo lo superfluo de su habitación para crear más espacio. She always tried to cut out any superfluous words in her writing. Ella siempre trató de eliminar las palabras superfluas en su escritura. She always tried to cut out any superfluous words in her writing. Ella siempre trató de eliminar las palabras superfluas en su escritura. Y ya terminamos. Me encanta la locura que es inglés. Entonces, si te gustaría que yo discuta otras palabras raras, por favor, dímelas. Y una nota para este episodio, mi herramienta principal fue el diccionario en línea de Merriam-Webster, si te gustaría leer más sobre cada palabra. So today's cultural tip is once again on Ghana, and we are talking about global national holidays. And to save on time and to avoid extreme repetitiveness, I'll give you first a quick list of holidays that many other countries also celebrate and or which we've covered in other episodes. So I won't get into too much detail for these ones, although I have included some interesting tidbits for further context or unique ways they might celebrate it in Ghana. Obviously, there's New Year's Day, which is always January 1st. And because it was on a Saturday this year, the following Monday, Ghana had off. Now, Good Friday is always the Friday before Easter. So this year it is April 15th. And Easter Sunday is April 17th. So Easter Monday is April 18th. Workers' Day is May 1st. It's also known as the UK's May Day, right? Or Labor Day, as it is in the US. And it's always celebrated the first Monday in May. Now, the Prime Minister, Nkrumah, was given the title First Number One Worker when Ghana observed its first May Day in 1960, as well as the May Day Award. Now, after the military coup, this holiday was suspended for 1 year in 1966. Then we have Christmas Day, which is always December 25th, and Boxing Day, which is December 26th. If you want more information on Boxing Day, please see Episodio 38. Now, for unique holidays, I found 7 that are either unique to Ghana or they're holidays that we haven't really discussed on this podcast yet. The first one is Constitution Day, which is always celebrated on January 7th. It was created as a public holiday in 2019, and this relatively new holiday commemorates the creation of the country's 1992 Constitution by the Fourth Republic, which took effect on January 7th, 1993. The Fourth Republic has lasted longer than the previous 3, which struggled with military coups. On this day, January 7th, new heads of state are sworn in. Ghanaians are reminded on this holiday of their commitment to uphold the country's constitution and democratic structure. The second one is Independence Day, which is always held on March 6th, although if it falls on a weekend, then the following Monday is a holiday. While under British control, Ghana was called the British Gold Coast. After World War II, there was a growing movement within the country for independence, which the Gold Coast was the first sub-Saharan African country to declare in March 6, 1957, with, I really hope I say his name correctly, I apologize if I do not say it correctly, with Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah as its first president and prime minister. The country also changed its name to Ghana at this time. The third holiday is Eid al-Fitr, which is on May 3rd this year, but it changes every year as it's based on the moon. Now, this is not a unique holiday to Ghana, but we haven't talked about it at all on this podcast before. Eid al-Fitr is an important Islamic holiday that marks the end of Ramadan, a month-long religious fast that goes from dawn to sunset every day. Ramadan is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, as they believe the Quran was given to the Prophet Muhammad during this month. There are special prayers and sermons for this day, with people wearing new clothes for their visit to the mosque, the giving of money to the poor, there's family feasts and special Eid greetings. It is also a day to give thanks to the Muslim god Allah for help in making it through Ramadan. Now, the fourth holiday is African Unity Day, which always takes place on May 25th. It's also known as Africa Day or African Freedom Day. This day, which is only a commemorative holiday, is not a public holiday, and it celebrates the establishment of the Organization of African Unity, or OAU, on May 25th, 1963. This included 30 original African countries who wanted to bring freedom and change to Africa. While several countries have it as a national holiday, including Mali, Namibia, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and the Gambia, we haven't talked about it before in this podcast. One of the original focuses of the OAU was to get rid of apartheid and to decolonize in African countries. In 2002, the OAU launched its successor, the African Union, or AU, whose main goal is economic growth and peace and cooperation across Africa. The AU is a bit like the European Union, EU, in the sense that both organizations were created to connect their respective continents and bring economic stability and strength to the region. If you'd like to do a deeper dive into what the AU is, check out their website in the link in the show notes. Overall, this holiday celebrates African achievements. The fifth holiday is Eid al-Adha, which is July 10th this year, but it changes every year as it's based on the moon. Now, it is the 10th day of the last month within the Islamic calendar, Dhu al-Hijjah, and I'm sure I'm butchering this, so I apologize. This is the most important Muslim holiday, and another one that we haven't yet discussed. Lasting for 4 days, although the public holiday is just for one, it celebrates Ibrahim, who is considered an important prophet, and his willingness to sacrifice everything for Allah, including his son Ishmael. But before he sacrifices him, a voice from heaven stops him and says he may sacrifice something else. As an interesting note, in the Christian and Judaic beliefs, Abraham is an important figure who is willing to obey God in everything, including sacrificing his son Isaac. But he's not exactly considered a prophet, though he is considered the father of Israel. Now, an angel stops him from sacrificing his son, and God instead provides a ram. Ishmael was the son Abraham had with his wife's handmaiden, Hagar, but was not the son God promised he would have with his wife, Sarah. To read more of the history here, check out the book of Genesis, chapters 12, 16, 17, 18, 21, and 22, or you can check it out in Spanish as well in the links to the show notes. On this holiday, giving charity to the poor is an important tradition, as is reenacting Ibrahim's obedience with a cow or ram sacrifice. Only about a third of the meal will be eaten by the family, however, as the other 2/3 are given to friends and family and to the poor. Number 6 is Founders Day, which is always celebrated on August 4th, although if it falls on a weekend, then the following Monday is a holiday. This holiday is celebrated on August 4th to commemorate two important Ghanaian events: the foundation of the Aborigines Rights Protection Society on August 4th in 1897 by John Mensah Sarba, and the establishment of the political party United Gold Coast Convention, or UGCC, on August 4th, 1947, by George Alfred Grant and J.B. Danquah. The UGCC was focused on gaining independence and making constitutional reforms, and played a key role in the country gaining its independence. Number 7, Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Day. This is always celebrated on September 27th, although again, if it falls on a weekend, then the following Monday is a holiday. This day celebrates Dr. Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana's first president and prime minister. While this used to be Founders Day, an amendment was passed in 2019 that changed Founders Day to August 4th and made September 27th specifically for Kwame Nkrumah. Dr. Nkrumah created the Convention People's Party, CPP, after he split from the UGCC. He was a key force in Ghana gaining its independence. And while he became the first president of Ghana in 1960, it was only 6 years later that he was overthrown by the military while on a state visit to China and Vietnam. Interestingly enough, he also designed Ghana's national flag, basing it on Ethiopia's. The green represents agriculture and beauty, yellow stands for mineral wealth, and red represents their struggles and bloodshed. The black star symbolizes African freedom. The last one is Farmers' Day, which will be December 2nd of this year. Now, Farmers' Day is held on the first Friday in December, unless it's an election year. Then they have the public holiday on the first Friday of December, but they celebrate it the first Friday of November. This celebration, introduced back in 1988 by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, is declared every year to be a statutory public holiday by the Minister of the Interior. It pays homage to the farmers and fishermen for their contributions to Ghanaian economics and in feeding Ghana. Prizes are given to fishermen and farmers for production and best practices. While this might seem like a strange holiday, keep in mind that, according to the CIA World Factbook, agriculture for Ghana is about 20% of the country's GDP, and it employs more than half of the country's workforce. To put this in perspective, in the United States of America, agriculture only takes up about 0.7% of the labor force and composes only 0.9% of the overall GDP. While agriculture is key to any society, it is clearly even more so for Ghana. Eso es todo por hoy. Muchísimas gracias por escuchar y no olvides consultar las notas del podcast para los enlaces de los recursos utilizados para este episodio. Y si prefieres leer una transcripción aproximada del episodio de hoy, puedes visitar el blog de este episodio también. Si te gustó este episodio, por favor, házmelo saber y deja un comentario positivo. Y suscríbete para no faltar ningún episodio. Me encantaría ayudarte en tu travesía de inglés. Así que si tienes alguna pregunta sobre el episodio de hoy o incluso sobre la cultura o la gramática inglesas, puedes contactarme en contact@languageanswers.com o visitar mi sitio web para obtener más información en www.languageanswers.com. También puedes ponerte en contacto conmigo en relación con mis servicios de traducción de español a inglés, redacción técnica, edición y creación de contenido o incluso consultas de idiomas y tutoría para ti o tu negocio. Recuerda, aprender un idioma es una travesía para toda la vida. Entonces, embrace it, enjoy it, and share it. Nos vemos en 2 semanas. ¡Hasta luego!